And welcome to Bloomington Normal, Illinois. It's our Missouri Valley Conference Game of the Week from CEFCU Arena. And this afternoon, the Illinois State Redbirds get set to take on the Belmont Bruins. And a pleasant good afternoon, everyone. Along with Kevin Lehman, Scott Warman. Great to be back with you for another season of basketball. Good to be with you, Kev. And today we're going to potentially see a day of first for Illinois State trying to win a home game, or for Belmont winning their first road game as a member of the Missouri Valley Conference.
Belmont with a big win at home against Valpo, shot the ball extremely well in that 76-64 win. And then Illinois State, the Redbirds, a heartbreaker at Murray State. They went down overtime. Ryan Peden trying to get his first Valley win and his first home win.
Yeah, pretty surprising. The Redbirds trying to pick up their first home win of the 2022-23 campaign. All right, let's get to our players to watch in today's game. Let's start with Belmont, a team you've seen already a couple times during non-conference play, and you saw them in their conference opener on Thursday. They can shoot the lights out, especially with this young man, Ben Shepard.
Ben Shepard is a sensation to watch. 1,000-point scorer. He can affect the game in so many ways, has an uncanny ability to score the basketball. And if you look in the MVC statistical categories, he's ranked in 7 of them. He's third in scoring. He's third in assists. He's nice. He's ninth in steals. He has sprinter speed. He can change the game at both ends, the offensive end and the defensive end.
All right, Seneca Knight is one of the transfers for Ryan Peden in his first year here in Bloomington Normal. And here's a young man who started off slow, but he's really starting to pick it up for Coach Peden.
I tell you what, Scott, he's getting more comfortable. He's getting more productive. And as Coach Peden said, this is his third school, so he's learning the ropes here with Illinois State. He is an old school power guard that we see in the Valley all the time. Double-double against Murray State, 20 and 12, and he has been deadly from the perimeter. He's shooting 41% from three.
All right, coming up, good one this afternoon here in the Twin Cities as the Illinois State Redbirds get set to take on the Belmont Bruins. Starting lineups and opening tip when we come back. The Missouri Valley Conference Game of the Week is brought to you by State Farm. For your personal price plan, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. By Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters. By farmer-owned Prairie Farms, drink local with Prairie Farms. And by Grinnell Mutual Insurance, trust in tomorrow. CEFCU Arena here in the Twin Cities, Bloomington Normal, as it is the Illinois State Redbirds getting set to take on the Belmont Bruins. And why don't we take a look at our keys to the game? It is brought to you by ExploreSt.Louis.com. Kevin Lehman.
When you look at Belmont, this is a team that loves to play with great pace. They want to push the ball in transition, but then they're going to spread you from side to side. A lot of pop. That ball does not hit the floor. They lift you, and they get a backdoor cut. And secondly, they like the paint, but Scott, they love the three ball. They shot 34 in that win over Valpo, over half their shots. And you look at Illinois State, they got to squeeze the orange. They cannot have turnovers. They average just under 15 a game. They got to cut that down, and they got to make the shooters of Belmont put the ball on the floor. They are deadly with step-in threes for the Bruins.
Bronze and McChesney set to tip it off. Third meeting overall between these two schools. First matchup as conference foes, and the Redbirds will have the opening possession in this afternoon's game. Redbirds, as Kevin mentioned, coming off a tough loss at Murray State on Thursday, and Belmont with a big win over Valpo for their first Valley win as a member of the MVC. Lewis driving the lane, and Tyson, the freshman, picks up the rebound.
Tyson, one of the two fabulous freshmen for the Bruins. There's that ball. It's going to pop side to side. They're going to drive it to the rim.
Shepard on the drive, and it is out of bounds. Belmont will retain possession. Malachi Poindexter, also one of the new faces on this Redbirds team.
He hit the big three against Murray State to put the game into overtime, even though the Birds came up short. He's got back on glass, and Shepard gets the first two of the afternoon. They lift you up off the baseline because you're so concerned about the three ball, lull you to sleep, Shepard with the back cut.
I know you're mentioning this because you were on the Belmont telecast the other day, is the fact that Shepard can score in so many different ways.
He has sprinter speed. He gets out in transition, and he can facilitate. Average almost 4 assists per game for the Bruins.
Davidson, number 3, he runs the point. Just his 3rd game back, started the season off the shelf.
Man-to-man defense by the Redbirds, trying to take away those gaps and contest the 3 ball.
Last touched by McChesney. All right, let's take a look at today's starting lineups. A presentation of Grinnell Mutual Insurance. Trust in tomorrow. Starting 5 for the Belmont Bruins, as that one was last touched again by Illinois State. And unusual for a Belmont team. Normally they bring guys back. They stay within the program within 3 or 4 years. Of course, we have the new college basketball now, Kevin, and a lot of transfers and new faces in on this Belmont team as well.
And there's one right there. Redbird, the transfer from Princeton. He's a grad transfer. Remember, in Ivy League, you can only play 4 years. So you'll see those 5th-year grad transfers, such as Drew Redbird, show up on a lot of rosters, and he can really knock in the 3 ball.
Yeah, last 2 games, he's 13 of 21 from beyond the arc. In fact, 2 games ago, I think you did the game against Georgia State, he had a season-high 24 points, as the officials for today's game are going over to take a look and see if Freiburg got the basket off before the shot clock violation. He did not, so it'll be Illinois State basketball.
Redbird's dodged the bullet there. You got to keep your eye on number 12. He can light it up from distance. You got to make him bounce and put it on the deck. I'll see if the Birds can get something going at the offensive end.
Here is Knight. McChesney on the block against the freshman Theismann. Quick hands by Davidson. And here comes the Bruins in transition.
You got to make a quick move, or they'll come in and knock it loose like Davidson just did.
They are not shy in shooting the 3s, and they do it effectively.
34 against Valpo. Out of 60 attempts, over half were from the 3-point line. Slip ball screens by Illinois State. They're doing some what we call ghost screens. Slip it to the rim.
Shot clock down to 5. Lewis puts up a 3, short, and rebound taken by Davidson.
Good defensive stand by Belmont.
Davidson, a transfer from Tennessee Tech, where he was a 3-year starting point guard. Good pass inside to Bronze at the block against Lewis. A little short. 1 and done on that possession for the Bruins.
Got Bronze off his sweet spot, made a tough shot for him. If you see Davidson, he's got his left shoulder in a sling from an injury. Not quite 100%. He put some big stats at Tennessee Tech.
Burford misses everything, and Shepard's right there to collect the miss for the Bruins.
A lot of action, but not much point production from either team.
Shepard spots up, hits the 3.
One of the keys, Scott, you got to make them bounce it at the 3-point line. Step-in shots, rhythm 3s. That's what the Bruins love.
And we'll go back the other way.
McChesney, a screen, and here's Ben Shepard. We talked about in the open. A good look at the 3 on that last possession.
Derek Saban checking in for the Bruins. There he is, number 21. There's Davidson cutting the corner. Saban with the offensive rebound, but the foul on Illinois State. There is the 4th-year head coach of the Belmont Bruins, Casey Alexander. Terrific record in his 4th season, 12 years overall as a head coach. And for Casey, played at Belmont from 91 to 95. In fact, his senior season, the Bruins went 37-2. Remember, at that time, Kevin, as you know, they were a team that was playing in the NAIA division and also was inducted into the Belmont Hall of Fame in 2005.
Well, Redbird is the father of basketball in Belmont. Casey Alexander stepped in. This is his fourth season. It's been a seamless transition for the Belmont Bruins.
Now, Belmont and Illinois State have split the two meetings between each other earlier. In fact, back in 2019, Belmont lost to Illinois State, and it was the first game that Casey was the head coach of the Belmont Bruins. So he's looking for a little payback today.
Oh, yes. Ryan Thate, he's looking for his first win in the Valley. Good ball movement. Lots of ball screens and penetration.
With Dexter, and his shot was challenged, looking for a foul, didn't get one. And the loose ball into the hands of Cade Tyson.
Poindexter, the transfer from Virginia.
Drop it down, Saban can't connect. And the rebound is taken by Colton Sandage. And when we come back, Illinois State basketball just underway. Our Valley Game of the Week from Bloomington Normal. And our entire LTM Global crew. Great to have you alongside our Missouri Valley Conference Game of the Week, Illinois State and Belmont. Time now for today's MVC men's basketball standings. They're made possible by Doubletree by Hilton Bloomington. Call 309-664-6446 or visit bloomington.doubletree.com to book your hotel rooms for your team's game at Illinois State or your next trip to the Twin Cities. And Kev, just getting underway. Of course, now we have a 20-game season in the Missouri Valley Conference. So a couple of games start out for most teams here this week. Go back to non-conference play. And then we will also get ready for the full season at the end of December, beginning of January. The biggest surprise to me, at least early on, was the Drake Bulldogs falling to Indiana State on Wednesday.
Yeah, and then last night I had Bradley's win at Missouri State. I'll tell you what, Scott, getting a road win in this league is like a nugget of gold in your pocket. Well, it's going to be a battle, as you mentioned, a 20-game schedule.
Seneca Knight getting the Redbirds on the board after the under-16 timeout.
A good play call at the timeout by Ryan Peden. Got Knight turned the corner all the way to the rim.
Shepard, and somehow Saban collects the pass.
And you see Casey Alexander go to his bench early. Not a lot of productive. They give him some short, quality minutes.
Battle for it. We're going to say it's last touch by Bellinger, who had a terrific game in the victory against Valpo on Thursday. And it's Ryan Peden's team's basketballs. There you see the first-year head coach, 5 years as the assistant at Ohio State. And talking to people who know this man real well say he is an outstanding recruiter. Illinois State's basketball program is in great hands, Kev.
It's going to take a little time. Went to the portal, brought in some players for this year's program, and he really wants to build this the right way. Had a good talk with him before the game today, and he's upset right now if they keep repeating the same mistakes. They've had too many turnovers. They've been able to cut those down, but you got a good look at one of the young, great coaches. The Valley, another great mind in the Valley.
Illinois State playing in the Cayman Islands tournament last week before Thanksgiving as Knights fouled on the drive. And before that, Kendall Lewis was just an absolute rebounding machine, and they started out playing LSU, and you could see that there was a lot of focus on Kendall. He was getting really frustrated at times during that tournament and really hasn't been the same, and it's a good thing because here's a guy that we profiled at the beginning of the show. Seneca Knight is a young man they have high hopes on, started out slow, but he's really turned up the clock since that tournament moving forward to today's game.
Seneca Knight has the ability to score in bunches. He's been around the block a bit. San Jose State, BYU had 37 points when he was against Colorado State for San Jose State. They know he can put up points. He's getting more comfortable, more productive. As we mentioned, double-double in that overtime loss at Murray State.
Shepard, quick hands by Illinois State. How many times have we seen those quick hands trying to deflect some of the passes by Belmont already in this game?
They're getting the passing lanes. They're really trying to pinch down and stop that dribble penetration, because when Belmont gets you going, it's going to be kick out to a three. You have to stop their dribble penetration and make those three-point shooters put it on the floor.
Look again, the quick hands. Shepard spots up, in and out. Rebound is taken by Illinois State's Darius Burford. Lewis on the drive, and it's a 6-0 run for ISU, and Belmont calls a timeout.
Good pace on that play by the Redbirds. Drag, screen in transition, and they get the ball all the way to the rim by Lewis. That could be a confidence builder and a lifter for Lewis.
So Illinois State was shut out in the first 4+ minutes. We get to the under 16, and Ryan Peden making some changes, and as we see the 6-0 run right now to make it a game early on.
Well, Ryan Peden was concerned about his team getting a slow start. They did that, but flipped the tables after that timeout. Nice play, got to the rim, and they want to push the pace. They got that one in transition before Belmont could get their defense set. Let's see if the Redbirds can continue to push the pace and get some easy baskets at the rim in transition.
And going to the rim is a real big key for Illinois State. One of the things Coach Peden's team has done very successfully early on is shoot free throws. They're one of the top free throw shooting teams in the country. Boy, another miss this time by Gillespie, and one and done, and here come the Redbirds trying to take the first lead of this afternoon's game.
You can see Belmont playing to the high post. Bronze, an excellent passer up there, trying to get the bounce pass, and pinned at the rim.
Bellinger in transition, and the foul is going to be on Colton Sandage.
Now Bellinger only knows one speed on offense, and that's to go full blast at the rim. Big game, as you mentioned, Scott, in that win over Valpo. He came off the bench, hit 4 threes, 4 attempts, perfect from distance.
And that 4-3 pretty much was the dagger for Valpo late in that game on Thursday at home. Belmont Vince Center, your first time there, or were you there before Thursday's game?
Oh, I've been there before. I've had a Murray State game in there. That rocks.
I'm sure it was.
I tell you, Valley fans are going to love to go to Nashville.
Well, I'm sure they will.
Belmont's campus is gorgeous, and their practice facility outstanding. The Crockett Center.
There's a lot of us looking forward to going to Nashville this year.
We actually had the mob behind us, their student section, and one of the young men in the mob went out and sung the national anthem, then came back and put his jersey on. There you go.
3-point shot made by Jaden Johnson, and the Redbirds take their first lead of the afternoon.
Good patience, waiting for a rhythm shot. Good ball movement. There's the patience, and there's the step in jump shot for the Birds as they take that lead.
Ryan Peden's team, Ryan Peden, I should say, has got to be pleased with his team and their ability out of this under 16 timeout to come back and take the lead. But not only that, I think the most impressive thing has been what they've done defensively. Again, challenging, but somehow Gillespie gets the 2 on the drive. The nice play there by the freshman.
Well, we talked about the fabulous freshman for Belmont. There's one of them right there. Davidson, he was the player of the year in Tennessee. SEC schools wanted him to be a punt returner, wide receiver. He has tremendous quickness and speed.
Knight
probing the defense.
And the step back, and it'll roll out. Rebound taken by Saban.
Good shot for Birds, though. He got to 10 feet and a nice look. Look at the quickness of this freshman.
Gillespie lost the handle. There's Bellinger, and a foul is called. One thing I've noticed, at least early on, we'll get to that when we come back, as we are 11:49 left in our opening half. Belmont and Illinois State, our Valley Game of the Week. By Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters. The MVP in the league early on, but these are 3 primary names we'll be watching throughout the season, Kevin Lehman.
Tucker DeVries with a big game yesterday as the Bulldogs got a win at home over UIC. DeVries with 25 points, knocked in 4 triples, and you're getting a great look at Ben Shepherd in this game. As we said, he's in 7 statistical categories, a stat sheet stuffer, and you've got Seneca Knight gaining confidence every game in Ryan Peden's system.
Great Southern Bank and the Valley are proud to recognize the league's Player of the Year with the Larry Bird Trophy. Bruins with their first road game as a member of the Valley in conference play in Central Illinois, taking on Illinois State. As E.J. Bellinger, the senior from St. Peters, Missouri, is at the line.
Both teams feeling each other out at the offensive end. Defenses have been good, 30% for each.
One thing I have also noticed early on, getting back to Illinois State's defense, the pace for Belmont seems to be a lot slower than what we saw on Thursday night against Valpo.
That was one of the keys for Illinois State. You cannot let this Belmont team get in rhythm. And Ryan Peden told me that we don't want to be back on our heels defensively. We want to be the aggressor. We want to dictate what Belmont does at their offensive end.
Kick out to point Dexter, and Saban brings down the rebound. Saban doing a nice job coming off the bench for Coach Alexander in this opening half of play.
And you're seeing the Redbirds get back in transition, building that wall. And you made a good point, Scott. This is not the pace that Belmont wants. They want to get up and down fast. They are a rhythm team. If you can take them out of the rhythm, that's what Ryan Peden wanted to do. Dictate what Belmont did, and they excel at those OB plays, especially this guy, Drew Freiberg. He hit 3 threes against Valpo off a blob, a baseline out of bounds play.
Gives the Bruins the lead at 5 at 14-9 as we touch on 11 minutes left in our opening half of our Missouri Valley Conference Game of the Week from Bloomington Normal. Shot clock winding down. Shot off just before the buzzer. Lewis trying to get the offensive board. Johnson gets it.
Johnson getting some extended playing time today for the Redbirds.
Joe Petrakis is out with an injury.
Shot clock running down again.
With Dexter at the buzzer. And again, a miss, and Saban gets another rebound. Almost had it stolen.
But again, this is a pace that Illinois State wants.
Gillespie with the beautiful move. How about that from the freshman?
See, this young guy can go. I had 3 of their games down the Paradise Jam when Davison couldn't play because of the injury. Gillespie was sensational, along with the other freshman, Cade Tyson.
All Tyson did was make SportsCenter top 10. The Bruins' first game, 8-0 run right now for the Bruins.
And Gillespie getting to the basket, slithering through the defense.
Oh, that is inadvertent pass and a turnover for Illinois State. That is Illinois State's third.
Well, we talked about the freshman. He has great speed, has ability to go side to side and get through small spaces in the defense. Gillespie can get right to the rim. This is a great 1-2 punch at the point guard position with Gillespie and the transfer, Keyshawn Davison from Tennessee Tech.
Tyson on the drive, strong move to the hole, just couldn't finish.
Now Redbird's doing a good job with the defense, and they've got to get some points here. They have been digging some dry wells at the offensive end.
Zuki on the drive, rolls out, followed by McChesney, but the foul is called.
I like that the Illinois State is getting the ball to the nail. They're screening on the side of the court, driving right to the rim. But a lot of pressure on Belmont's defense.
Sorry, Luke Kazuki, a junior from St. Louis, transfer from Kansas State. 4th all-time on the scoring list at his high school back in St. Louis. The 3 in front of him, Jason Tatum, Bradley Beal, and David Lee, now retired from the NBA. It's pretty good company, eh?
I'd like to be in that crowd.
By the way, an interesting twist to this. So former Chaminade High School is where it's at, Chaminade Prep. Bradley Beal, Jason Tatum, among so many others in the NBA, they have a performance coach. Their performance coach is one Drew Hanlon, formerly of Belmont. Vaughn's at the block and trying to save it. Last touch by Evan, and Illinois State will get the basketball back.
Impressed with Illinois State's defense. The collapse, got the turnover on Bronze, but they got to get some points at the offensive end. They have struggled to draw the net. A lot of middle ball screens.
All right, Schmidt now checking in for Illinois State, number 50.
Schmidt has not seen much time of recent. DMAC, shot blocker.
McChesney double team, shot clock winding down again on this possession. Burford, Zuki, and the bump gets the bucket. No, they're going to say an offensive foul called on Luke.
The freshman, Cade Tyson, steps in front of the dribbler. Driving in, Cade Tyson, one of those fabulous freshmen we talked about, steps in front, takes the charge. Another turnover for the Birds.
Shepard on the turn, tries to get his own rebound, and it will be Illinois State basketball when we return. 7:56 remaining, and it's Belmont with the lead over the Redbirds. Bruins right now on an 8-0 run as they're on the road taking on Illinois State this afternoon in Bloomington Normal. And the Missouri Valley Conference is celebrating the 50th anniversary of the passage of Title IX legislation. Throughout the academic year, the Valley is honoring pioneers from league institutions who paved the way for current and future student athletes. To learn more about the conference's Title IX recognition plans, visit mvc-sports.com/Title 950. Kevin Lehman, Scott Warman with you. The Redbirds going ice cold here offensively after taking their first lead at 98. They haven't scored just a tick over 5 minutes. We were just talking during the break, Kevin, is the fact that, you know, Redbirds are utilizing almost all 30 seconds of the shot clock before they can find an open shot.
They're making Belmont defend for long periods of time, but they've got to be able to have some production. There's a big hoop right there.
McChesney breaks the ice for the Redbirds.
McChesney usually not known for those contested twos.
What a drive by Davidson, but he couldn't get it to roll in. Wow. Talk about dribbling your way out of traffic. My goodness.
Looks like he's getting healthier each game.
And an offensive foul is called on ISU.
Another one of those illegal screen, a dead ball turnover. And Ryan Peterson, we've been cleaning up. We've been getting better at those, but we still have to get that number lower. They're averaging just under 15 a game. They've been much better in their last few games. But they need what I like to call lots of bites at the apple. Shots on the rim.
Tyson cut off on the drive, tries to get his own rebound. But how about that? Kazuki out muscling for the loose ball.
Illinois State's defense has been good. They're making Belmont put the ball on the floor. The ball movement is not as crisp as Belmont would like it to be. A foul on Schmidt on that last play.
Both of these teams right now shooting under 30%. Talk about a struggle.
Well, we are in early December, and we're in league play, 20-game schedule, and some of these teams coming off, you know, MTE events. Of course, you were at the one that Cayman Islands with the Redbirds. I was in the Virgin Islands with Belmont, getting their sea legs back.
Great defense by Shepherd. McChesney gets it back. Burford on the drive. Nice play by Darius to finish that one off.
Burford able to move it around in the air. Kept his eye on the prize. Nice finish.
Burford, the transfer from Elon. Loose ball, and it's going to stick with Belmont.
Baseline drive. Burford weaves through the defense and gets it up on the rim and slides it through for the Redbirds. That was a much-needed basket. They'd had a long, long dry spell.
Shepherd, double team, trying to get some help. Again, there's those quick hands, Kevin.
They've done a good job also of cutting off Shepherd's drive because he is not only a scorer, he is a facilitator for Belmont, impressed by the defense by Illinois State. They just need some more punch at the offensive end.
Nice cut. Oh, Davidson lost the handle, and the Bruins catch a break there. Great read, however, by Bellinger to see Davidson go into the glass. Folks, stay tuned for our halftime report, sponsored by State Farm Insurance, a proud partner of the Missouri Valley Conference. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Watch these OB plays. Now, Belmont is really adept at scoring on those OB plays, and that's what they do. There's an elbow catch by Shepherd. No help defense. Sweet move. The right side is wide open.
Knight with the fade. Very nicely done.
That was a little quicker offense by Illinois State. Knight, you just see the confidence growing in Seneca Knight.
Freiberg, there he is from the distance. He has been red hot over the last couple of games, shooting over 50% from beyond the arc, and he hits his first tray of the day.
That's his favorite spot. Top of the key, rhythm, step in three ball.
Oh, foul by Davidson.
Now Freiberg, you've got to move him off that spot or he will light you up. He did so to Valpo. Had 20 in that game and knocked in a bunch of threes.
Wide open look. Pazuki hits the three. And it's a three-point lead now for the Bruins at 21-18.
Good kick out after the drive by Illinois State. Excellent vision. Hard hedge on the ball screens.
Shepherd again driving to the lane. Oh, how did he get the shot off?
That's what he does. Shepherd can score in so many ways.
McChesney stops, pops, and hits. The big man can hit from the outside, bud.
Scott, he froze the defense with that pass fake. Stepped sideways, rattled it home.
Beautiful drive by Davidson.
Belmont really trying to get to the rim now because Illinois State is pressing up at the three-point line.
Timeout on the floor. The Redbirds hitting a couple of threes, and they're within 4 here at home against Belmont. Bruins and Redbirds here in Bloomington Normal and CEFCU Arena. As the Belmont Bruins right now in a 4-game winning streak heading in to this afternoon's action, their first road game in the Missouri Valley Conference and a conference game. And meanwhile for Illinois State, Kev, Coach Peten's team, and there you see Coach Alexander, Coach Peten's team looking for a victory. They have lost 5 in a row, and as you mentioned earlier, a heartbreaker against Murray State on Thursday night.
Coach Peten got his first win at Eastern Illinois, 54-49, and came back with a win at Northwestern State. Both these teams start out very cold here today. 4-15 for Illinois State, 5-17 for Belmont. But 4 for 4 by each, the Redbirds and the Bruins in the last couple minutes. They're starting to heat up, Scott, starting to feel it at the offensive end. A lot better ball movement by the Redbirds, getting side to side, using some ball screens to get penetration.
Shot clock violation again.
Want to go deep into it. Got to have some awareness.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We've seen that how many times already in this opening half. Belmont's defense is just clamping down on Illinois State.
6 turnovers for Illinois State, but very few live ball turnovers. They try to get the backdoor cut with Shepard. He has constant movement.
Has been there. And Kazuki with the rebound for the Redbirds. Down by 4. As just over 3 minutes remaining in our opening half. Knight.
And have some awareness of the shot clock. Down to 10.
Here's Knight again. Shot clock at 3. Boyd Dexter on the drive as time elapses. And it is another shot clock violation. Kev, I think that's at least 3 we've seen so far in the opening 20 minutes.
They're going deep into the clock each time, trying to make Belmont play defense for an extended period of time. And that's part of that's to slow down Belmont's offense, but they've got to be able to have some awareness and get off a clean look at the basket. They've kept Ben Shepard under control, but you can't let number 12 get going. That was a drive, and Freiburg just replaces the wing where Shepard left. Quick release.
Freiburg has got to be the hottest shooter from beyond the arc of the valley here in this last week.
He gets 75 threes last season at Princeton. He's no stranger to the three-point line. All academic. All Ivy.
Lewis cut off on his drive.
They've done a good job of following up.
Great hands by Davidson, and he gets called on the reach around. Folks, when the NBC TV network cruise travels to campus, it considers these properties home. These hotels consistently support the conference and its 12-member institutions. Please call or visit the websites of these properties when making plans to follow your favorite team away from home.
It's a good look at the transfer, Keyshawn Davidson. They're using those 2 point guards. Davidson with the start, the more experienced senior. The transfer from Tennessee Tech, and they bring in Gillespie, the young freshman that has tremendous speed.
Yeah, you think about it, and Belmont and Murray start off their conference seasons at home, but this is whole new territory for them going on the road, because as you know, you play teams consistently year in and year out. You get familiar with some of the places on the road, as tough as they are. This is brand new for a lot of these teams.
Well, Scott, you also get familiar with the hotels, right? Where you're going to eat your pregame at, and coaches we know are very superstitious, so if they win, they want that same hotel, they want that same restaurant they're going to eat that pregame meal at. And this Murray State, UIC, Belmont, new routines.
It looks like Coach Pete is going to a zone right now. Interesting switch up here defensively by the head coach.
Had some success in the second half against Murray State with the zone. Concerned about the 3-ball, though.
Tyson on the drive, contested and blocked by McChesney. McChesney, one of the top shot blockers in the Valley early on.
Well, Tyson has not scored yet for the Bruins.
Lewis gets his own rebound and gets the stick back.
Lewis has been quiet. They've kept him off the glass. That's his second basket.
Gillespie with a long 3. And boy, Illinois State, they really have done a superb job on the defensive boards early in this first half.
But rebound out of a zone is not easy to do. They've gone zone the last 2 possessions. They've made stops. Good switch by Ryan Pete. Keep Belmont off balance. See how long he stays with it.
Under a minute remaining in our opening half. Sandage trying to cut to the lane, and we have a foul before the shot.
The Redbirds with some great defense, and they're turning that into offense. There's the block and the push up court. Finish.
Sandage, the transfer from Western Illinois from right here in Bloomington. His brother actually played at ISU from 05 to 08. And Sandage, who is a graduate, a lot of success at Western Illinois, and basically from what I understand from the Illinois State people, just wanted to play for the hometown team. Shepard with a long distance three.
That was a concern Coach Peden had with doing that three-quarter court press. Can we get out of it and find the shooters in time? Shepard wide open, step in, three ball before Illinois State could get back and set their defense out of that three-quarter court press.
There's about a 2-3 second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Wide open Sandage from the corner, and he drains it.
Big bucket for the Birds.
More than enough time for the Bruins before time runs out. Freiberg from deep, it's partially blocked, and that'll do it. 20 minutes wrapped up here at CEFCU Arena, and Ryan Peden's team will head into locker room trailing Belmont by a score of 31-30.
A slow start for Illinois State. They picked up the pace here in the second half of the first half. Big shot by Sandig to get them within a penny at halftime.
Illinois State Redbirds hosting the Belmont Bruins in Valley action this afternoon as we're getting ready for the second half. As there you see head coach Casey Alexander in his fourth year as the head coach of the Belmont Bruins. And Kevin, they have won 59 straight games since leading at halftime. You have to go back to 2020, the last time they lost the game, leading at the half.
Well, that's great coaching. If you can, especially on the road, you get the 1-point lead. Can they build upon this? Of course, you have Ryan Peden trying to find some counters. I thought he did a great adjustment, Ryan Peden did after that first time out. They were struggling to score, made some changes, worked their way back in this game. And you got Belmont, got through some foul problems, both the point guards with 2 fouls in the first half, so they can play free and loose here in the second half. And again, the bench production, Illinois State was the difference here in the first half to help them get caught back up.
I think conversely, the other story is Illinois State's defense. Great defense, a lot of quick hands, and really Belmont really not being able to push the pace in that opening 20 minutes.
They've also, Scott, taken away the three ball. They've only had 7 attempts. There's usually 8 attempts by Belmont. Remember, they put up 34 threes against Valparaiso.
Nice pass inside, and the foul is called.
Now, Kate Tyson, the fabulous freshman for Belmont, has not scored. And Evan Brahms, you just saw on that play, big number 5-0, has not scored either for the Bruins. So they've isolated, been able to take those 2 players out of the game.
Freiberg, there you see directing traffic.
Good quick hands, as you mentioned, Scott, on the perimeter. They're really pushing up in that three-point line.
Good hands by Lewis on the defensive end, and a battle, and we'll get a jump ball call. And again, there's that defense for Illinois State, picking up where they left off from the first to the beginning of the second half.
And Ryan Peden said the one thing, there's some things we can control in a game, and that is the way we hustle and the way we defend, the way we communicate. Their shots don't always go in, but we've seen those 3 things fairly consistent here for the Redbirds in the first half.
Stolen right back to the Bruins. On the run out, Tyson with the finish.
First bucket for Tyson. Loose ball turnovers, 4-point swings, easy baskets.
Talk about keeping the defensive theme. I thought Belmont did an exceptional job on Thursday against one of the better players in the Valley, Ben Cricket.
Cricky got some early baskets and they shut him off late in there. Again, scoring in the paint. McChesney's having a very good game for the Redbirds. It's 9 for McChesney.
Tyson again cutting to the rim. Gets the shot off and he'll get the roll. So the freshman has scored the first 2 baskets of the second half for the Bruins.
And what is Casey Alexander doing? They're taking away the 3 lines. So now they're spreading you out and getting points at the rim. He's got guys cutting through the lane. The chess match between these 2 coaches.
Lewis from the outside, and he hits the 3. His first 3 of the afternoon and our first tie of today's game at 35-35.
Lewis with a quiet 7. They've kept him off the offensive glass. He's affected the game in other ways.
Redbird with his first miss from beyond the arc.
Rushed that one.
Lewis trying to get the save. And there's Burford.
Great catch by Lewis. Soft hands. Kept it in play.
And the foul.
Lewis was quiet in the first half. They kept him off the window. But then he gets a chance on the kick out. The step-in 3 ball. Big basket for the Birds as they tie it up with Lewis's 3. How about McChesney? He's got a little shoulder shake to loosen him up before that free throw.
Whatever it takes, right?
I like that move.
Puts him at double figures at 10 points.
Transfer from Utah State, long and skilled. They use him a lot on the pick and pop. Watch the left shoulder.
Young man from Vancouver, British Columbia. In fact, he played for the under-23 Team Canada team this past summer.
That was a double shoulder shake. But whatever works. Got to have a routine from the free throw line. All great free throw shooters have it.
Oh, and a block by McChesney on the other side. That's his second block of the afternoon.
He's been impactful at both ends of the court. Great recovery and timing by McChesney. Takes a little tumble out of bounds. Back up and get after it.
And that is last touched by Saban, who just checked into the game for Coach Alexander's Belmont Bruins. And the Redbirds get the basketball. They had only 1 lead in the first half. That was at 9-8. And now they've taken their second lead of the day.
McChesney, that's his second game, scoring in double figures. He's making an impact for the Redbirds. Good ball movement.
And the 3 is made by the junior from St. Louis, Luke Kazuki.
The assist, the big man, McChesney.
Good look, and Saban with the finish.
Ball screen, 2 defenders trying to get in front of Davidson. Threads the needle, easy basket for Belmont. Both teams starting to score at a better pace here in the second half.
McChesney, head fake, double team, needs some help. Somehow got the shot off, it just won't roll in. And a loose ball's picked up by Liam.
Great save. Extra possessions, gotta have them.
Kazuki with his second triple. And it's a 6-point lead at 43-37 Redbird.
50-50 balls are huge in Valley play. The Birds cash in.
Tyson backing in. Boy, Tyson, he has really found a groove here in the second half.
Strong inside, quiet in the first half, taking away the 3 ball. the slow pace of offense has worked for Illinois State. They've been able to control the pace. Kept talking about Belmont being a tempo team. They have not gotten the rhythm we normally see from this Bruins team, the offensive end.
We've got a ball game here in Central Illinois. 43-39, Redbirds lead at the 15-19 mark of the second half. Redbirds with the 43-39 lead over Belmont in our Valley Game of the Week. Right now it's time for today's State Farm MVC Scholar Athlete. It is Belmont's J.P. Armbruster, graduate midfielder from Nashville. He's also the 2022 MVC Men's Soccer Scholarship Athlete of the Year. Armbruster has a 4.0 cum GPA while working towards his master's degree in accounting and is a two-time academic all-district selection selected by the College Sports Communicators. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Kevin Lehman, Scott Warman with you from CEFCU Arena. And the Redbirds turning it up offensively, especially from long distance to begin the second 20 minutes of play, Kev.
Well, Scott, we came to this game talking about Belmont's ability to shoot the ball from distance, almost 10 a game at just under 40%. But it has been all Redbirds from distance. They are 7 of 10. They've had 5 different players knock in the 3. Great offense led by Zupke. He's got 3 himself.
The transfer from K-State. And another shot clock violation. We saw 3 of those against Illinois State in the opening half of play, and that's the first one here in the second half.
Well, it's still a dead ball turnover, which allows Illinois State to set their defense. Belmont's had some issues now. They're taking away that 3-point shot. See if Belmont continues to try to get some penetration. And look how Illinois State has pushed him outside the 3-point line.
And the drive, and Tyson again. That's his 4th field goal of this second half.
Well, it's what I call a 5 out, 0 in, so the driving lanes are open. They're hugging the 3-point shooters. Tyson's starting to adjust and taking it right to the rim.
McChesney, strong move at the turnaround, and McChesney is having himself an afternoon here at home.
You've got early position in the turf in the middle.
And challenging Shepard on the drive, and McChesney almost lost it after coming away with a loose ball, and then Shepard is just determined what the strip does, and on the lay-in it rolls in and fouled. How about that from Shepard? He was just not going to be denied that basketball.
He has that extra gear. He hesitates on the wing and then shifts it into overdrive on that play. Gets it up on the window. He has, as I've said before, he looks like a hurdler, sprinter speed. Can turn it on and go. But one of the cavities in Ben Shepard's game is from the free throw line.
Yeah, only 55% heading into today's matchup against ISU. Kazuki, his 3 for his last 3 from long distance.
Why not? He's parked in that right corner.
Davidson had to change his shot because of McChesney's defense. And back the other way come the Redbirds.
On the block, one-on-one. You got to go to the rim with it.
Lewis, and they're going to call an offensive foul on Lewis. Wow.
Well, you talked about those turnovers, shot clock turnovers by Illinois State. Belmont with 11 points off turnovers. Illinois State has not scored. They got a goose egg off Belmont's turnovers.
Good hands again, this time by McChesney. And here comes the Redbirds in transition. Knights, what a pass to Point Dexter, and he drains another triple.
That right corner's been good to the Birds.
Reigning 3 for the Redbirds here in the second half. Oh, easy 2 points for Shepard.
Again, no post player. They're all up above the free throw line. Back cut by Shepard. Nice feed. Illinois State's taking away the three, but they're giving up some rim runs.
McChesney now from a long distance. He did it again. They did it again. 9-point lead for Illinois State, 54-45.
10 of 13 from long distance for the Redbirds. Good job of making Freiburg a driver, not a three-point shooter.
Now, I'm not very good at math, but normally if you score 3 and the other team scores 2, you're going to win, right? That's what's happening right now. But as you said, the tables have turned. Folks, Arch Madness 2023 tips off March 2nd through the 5th, and the only place to celebrate before and after all the action at Enterprise Center is the NBC Fan Hangout at Ballpark Village. For all you need to know about the Fan Hangout, download the Arch Madness app today. Freiburg at the line. He's hit a couple of threes in the first half.
He got some early, and they've taken that away from Freiburg's game. Again, the bench has been a big plus also for Illinois State.
And McChesney travels. Well, it is definitely raining threes here today in Central Illinois. Redbirds heating up in the second half. Right now they have the 7-point lead at home. Redbirds and Bruins with ISU leading by 7 points. Well, we take a look at today's NBC scores and schedules. It is a presentation of Grinnell Mutual Insurance Trust in tomorrow. Kev, I know you were down in Springfield where Bradley picks up a road win in conference play against Missouri State, but a lot of action yesterday and one other game also going on today.
Yeah, Connor Mast with a great game, 15 points. Or excuse me, Rink Mast with 15 points. And Connor Hickman had a great game, 8 points, 7 assists, 9 rebounds. But Indiana State, big win over Miami. Got a lot of points from McCauley. Had 30 points in that game as he hit 6 threes. And Bowen Bourne, UNI keeps producing point guards that can score buckets. Bourne with 29. He hit 5 triples. Panthers win over Evansville. Southern Illinois gave St. Louis all they wanted. Xavier Johnson with
nice play out of the timeout. As again, cutting to the glass. This time it's Michael Shanks with the reverse lay-in.
Both these coaches drop some good plays in those timeouts.
Yeah. Knight steps back for a 3. They cannot be denied from beyond the arc, Kevin.
Circle Knight in the groove. The rest of the Birds, and there's could be their first points in on the turnover.
The Birds started this game 3 for 13 from the field, and right now they're 17 for their last 21. What a turnaround for the Redbirds.
Quick hands. Off to the races. Seneca Knight punches one through. Double-digit lead for the Birds. And now they've done with their defense.
Again, cutting right to the hole, and Shepard gets the easy lay-in.
Belmont lifts you up off that baseline, lulls you to sleep, gets the backdoor cut.
One of those things, you got to take what they give you, right?
Illinois State is taking away the 3 ball.
Lewis with that one that slides out. Belmont now in transition. Shepard trying to pick the pace up here a little bit too. Good defense again all afternoon by Illinois State. And the offensive foul call. Great defense by Rashard Lewis. Looks Kendall Lewis with the defense for Illinois State.
With great position by Lewis. Got his feet set. Bronze runs him over. That is the 7th turnover, Belmont. Little screens by Illinois State.
Lewis lost the handle. Here come the Bruins, 2-on-1. Shanks rolls out. Rebound taken by Schmidt.
Missed opportunity by Belmont. 2-on-1. You got to convert that layup. A lot of middle ball screens, and they roll the big man.
Seneca Knight again.
Well, we talked about how he's getting more comfortable in this system and more productive.
Runs inside, and the foul is called.
Seneca Knight. Step back, get behind the screen, square it up, rattle it home. Get those fingers up so everybody can count. 1, 2, 3. Another 3-ball for the Birds. That is their 12th of the game.
Giving Belmont a little taste of their own medicine here this afternoon at home.
And Illinois State came in this game averaging a little over 7 threes per game at just around 31%. They have been red hot from outside.
So in the second half, the Redbirds shooting 11 of 13 from the field, 85%. They have yet to miss a field goal from beyond the arc. 8 for 8.
What's in that halftime water?
I'm telling you what. You see Coach Alexander talking it over with our officiating crew. Looks like Belmont switching up to
yes. Yeah, they're going to show the zone. They've had trouble with that inside the middle ball screen. Catch it at the free throw line. First thing you do is look down low in the short corner. Easy basket. They shredded that zone.
Great read by Illinois State to notice the zone, and Lewis with the easy 2. And then the rebound, 1 and done on Belmont.
Numbers.
Bazupki, and the first 3 miss, but there's Burford to clean up the miss.
Burford at 6 foot in the right spot at the right time. Soft putback. Illinois State continue to be productive at the offensive end.
Shepard looking for some help.
Bond was open inside just for a second. Pressure at the perimeter.
Bellinger and the foul before the shot. Well, you can kind of tell, Kev, on that last possession that Belmont's kind of trying to find an open 3. They just can't. I mean, Illinois State's defense really has been impressive here this afternoon.
It's take away the 3, see if you can beat us with the contested 2. And there's another contested 2.
Davidson. Freiberg tries to save it. Ooh. And they're going to say it's out of bounds. A turnover for the Bruins.
Ryan Peden's defensive attack here has been executed to perfection, especially in the second half. They have taken away open 3s. Freiberg has been a non-factor in the second half. See, if you're going to beat us, you're going to beat us at the rim. It's going to be contested. Staying in that zone. Look in the middle.
Knight for 3. And now they've missed their last 2. Bellinger, kick out. Davidson, nice head fake, high off the glass. Great play by the senior point guard from Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
It Bronze opened up the block. Pass fake, froze the defender just for that half second, then gets it off the window. Experienced point guard play by Davison.
Redbirds call a timeout. We'll take one too. 7:35 remaining as the Birds looking for their first win at home this afternoon. Kevin Lehman, Scott Warman, our entire LTN Global crew. Great to have you alongside our Valley Game of the Week. And folks, download the Arch Madness app presented by Great Southern Bank. Understanding what really matters. The app has all the information you need to know about the tournament schedule, hotel accommodations, and other fun events during the tournament. Download the app on your Android or iOS device today. Kev, when you look at these numbers, you're like, what? You got to switch the teams, especially when you look at just 3-point attempts in the second half. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, Belmont came in with a reputation for shooting the three ball, spreading you out. Illinois State has taken that away. And then they've got hot from the arc in the second half. The Redbirds of 8 of 10, a sizzling 80%. Belmont, the team that came in shooting 40% from three, they are 0 for 3 in the second half from the arc. Definitely, Scott, they have flipped the script, the Redbirds. Excellent defense and game plan.
Yeah, the Birds hit their first 8 from beyond the arc. They've missed their last 2. With the shot clock winding down, it is another shot clock violation.
I don't know if they mind doing that because they're taking that defense deep in there. Great philosophy here by Illinois State.
In the second half at home. And folks, our next NBC TV network production presentation of the Doubletree by Hilton Bloomington will be coming up on Wednesday, December 28th, as the Belmont Bruins play host to the Bradley Braves. Our coverage will get underway at 7 Central. Call 309-664-6446 or visit bloomington.doubletree.com to book your hotel rooms for your next team's game at Illinois State or your next trip to Bloomington Normal. Again, December 28th, the Bruins hosting the Bradley Braves. I know our producer here, Jeff Graham from LTN Global, will be excited right around New Year's to head to Nashville and be a part of the production of that game.
Three-quarter court pressure by Illinois State. Little change up, back to zone. It paid off for the Redbirds. They get a stop. Now Belmont in the zone.
Again.
Got to get to the high post area.
Burford leaning in and gets it off the glass and in.
Great balance. Get up on the glass. Get on that square. It'll go in. Burford has been quiet but effective. 7 rebounds also for the guards. Now going to stay in that zone. Can you take away the 3?
Ryberg, no, off the back of the iron. Offensive rebound, the freshman Gillespie with the left hand. It won't roll in. Burford on the drive, the kickouts. Kazuki, no. Ball tipped. Knight with the offensive glass. Here's Kendall Lewis with the kick out. Knight tries it again and drains it for 3.
Knight now with 17 for Illinois State. BYU transfer. Playing well. Staying in that zone.
And Belmont with the answer by guess who? Dan Shepard.
Dribble penetration. He stood right behind the drill. They kick out. Big 3. And it's been a dry spell from distance for the Belmont team.
That's the first 3 they've made all this second half.
14 turnovers by Illinois State, but they've been able to survive those turnovers. And dead ball turnovers, shot clock violations, as you pointed out.
Lewis with a beautiful pass inside. McChesney with the second chance opportunity. How about Lewis? He'll clean it up off the glass.
That's what he does. Offensive rebounder. They've kept him off the window.
Bellinger drains the 3. And a timeout is called.
Hustle points by your point guards. There's the spin, collapse of the defense. Gets one off the window. Big basket for the Birds. He comes back and works it inside, and there is McChesney with one, and then who else but Lewis cleans it up.
Redbirds shooting 66% from the field in this second half. Oh, by the way, Belmont shooting over 50%, but mostly the two balls. They only have 1 3 that they have made in this second half.
A good defensive game plan by Ryan Peden, and now we've got pressure from the Bruins. They're trying to speed up. There you go, bring it out. Milk some clock, but keep your momentum.
Burford on the drive, too strong, and the rebound to Bellinger. Bellinger, who just hit the last 3 for Belmont.
Illinois State got out of that zone. They're back in man-to-man.
In and out. Rebound taken by Burford.
Burford's been good at both ends.
Has a season-high 8 boards.
Got to have your guards go in there and get those loose ball rebounds. That one might have been a little bit quick on the trigger. Zuki.
Take a break. 3:56 remaining in this one. Can the Redbirds hold on as they lead by a dozen? Today's plays of the game. It's brought to you by Great Southern Bank. Understanding what really matters. And the Redbirds, Kevin Lehman, hitting from distance and hitting from distance a lot in the second half.
13 of 21 for the game. 7 different players have hit a triple for the Redbirds. 3 players have had multiples. They've been led by Kazuki, 4 of 7. And Seneca Knight has knocked in 3 himself. Redbirds lighting it up from the perimeter.
Redbirds up 73-61 with just under 4 minutes left to play. And we're seeing Belmont at least pick up a little bit 3/4 pressure, man-to-man, trying to just pick up the pace and then try to do it from an offensive standpoint to try to open up some more threes here in that last segment.
They have to somehow create some turnovers. There's a trap now in the middle of the court. Good patience.
Time is running down on the shot clock. Throws up a hook, and Tyson gets the board. Shepard lost the handle, and back the other way to Illinois State. Unforced errors, they would say.
The 8th turnover for Belmont came at a costly time as they needed that possession to cut into this 12-point lead. They're going to trap that first pass. Illinois State needs good spacing against this pressure.
Poindexter lost the handle, and the foul is going to be called on Gillespie. Yep,
the trip. And that's only 6, so it's going to be a side OB. Very important now that trigger man gets it in cleanly.
Redbirds easily break the pressure, and the bucket and foul. Lee McChesney, who's had a huge afternoon for the Birds, will go to line for a 3-point play.
Great spacing. The trap's coming. Up the sideline. Guts of a cat burger, man. Let's take this right at the hoop. Forget about pulling out, milking some clock. And then shimmy those shoulders. Finish that 3-point play.
Largest lead of the afternoon for the Redbirds at 14. As Ryan Peden is looking for his first win here at Doug Collins Court. Both wins early in the season coming on the road. And they ride into this matchup with a 5-game losing streak. It's a 4-game win streak for Casey Alexander's Belmont Bruins. There you see Coach Peden there. And he looks at this game film. He is going to be so impressed, both halves, of the way that his defense has played.
First thing you're going to jump out and talk about all the free balls they hit. But, Scott, you're right. You hit that right on the head. Their defense set the standard in this game, taking away the 3-ball from Belmont, making them play at a pace they weren't comfortable with, and making them try to score contested 2s rather than open step-in 3s.
And Seneca Knight gets it, and McChesney with the flush. McChesney now with the career-high 21 points. Gillespie with the circus shot and Tyson with the follow, but the whistle and the foul was called on Illinois State.
Illinois State has done an excellent job of attacking the pressure and making Belmont pay at the other end. The ball up in the air. McChesney having a career game.
McChesney 7 of 10 from the field today. Perfect 5 for 5 from the line. He also has 6 rebounds.
We got 2 early 3s in this game too, on an early pick and pop.
A couple blocks.
Belmont with some pressure. We'll trap the ball. So your spacing offense has to be excellent. It's got to have 3 outlets. Again.
McChesney wide open once again for the 2nd consecutive time. And he builds that lead back up to 78-65. And then the other way, Kazuki with the block.
Zuki up. Sending that one. Redirecting. Offensive attack against the pressure. Throw it up. Let the big man come in. Climb the elevator and punch it down. And swat it the other end.
McChesney with the rebound and the long outlet for the Redbirds. And those opportunities happen when obviously Belmont trying to create turnovers, trying to get those traps over in the front end of the court. So you're going to have those 2 and 3 and 1 opportunities, right?
The space has been really good, Scott, from Illinois State's press offense. They got a man in the middle. They got McChesney kind of hanging around that weak side corner. Once it gets to the middle, watch out. You can go either direction, and it puts extreme pressure on that last line of defense on the press for Belmont.
Malachi hits the first of 2 free throws.
Pondexter, not a lot of points in the stat line, but he gives a sense of calming and leadership to this Illinois State team. Didn't play much for Virginia, but Ryan Peden said, I knew what he'd been through. I knew he had to play in that defensive system at Virginia. Be a great leader for us.
And Tyson going for the offensive rebound is whistled for the foul. So with the double bonus situation, we'll go back the other way. Redbirds with the big lead with just under 2 minutes remaining in this one.
Remember the end of the first half, they got that big 3-ball out of the corner by Sandage, and that kind of gave Illinois State momentum going to the halftime. They were able to continue it in the second half at red hot from outside. They could break this game open.
Redbirds, this is their first home game since November 17th, so it had been a while since they had played at CEFCU Arena, but they're going to be home for a couple more coming up this week as Eastern Michigan will come to town. And then a special game coming up next Saturday as loose ball goes to Gillespie. More on that in a second. Gillespie on the dribble drive, and it's taken off of Illinois State. He wanted a foul call, didn't get it, and tries to get a steal and does. And now Bellinger is spotting up. hits the three, his second in it. And Belmont now trails at 83-68.
Illinois State, take your time. That is a 5-second violation on the inbounds.
Wow.
So another dead ball turnover. But if you're Ryan Peden, you'd rather have that than throw it away and give Belmont a quick layup. Now Belmont's got to go against your set defense.
So the Redbirds with 50 points in this half. Last time they've done that was against Evansville back in January, earlier last regular season. Stolen again by the Bruins. Gillespie on the drive, and it'll go in. And the timeout is called with just over 1 minute remaining as Illinois State leading Belmont. And let's get to our players of the game. The presentation of State Farm, a proud partner of the Missouri Valley Conference. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For Illinois State, McChesney has been sensational. A career night for McChesney's 23 points. Perfect from the free throw line, perfect from the three-point line. 8 of 11 overall, and sprinkling 8 rebounds, an assist. With a transfer from Utah State, he has been sensational for the Redbirds.
So I was mentioning next week, another home game for the Redbirds, but this one will be at Old Horton Fieldhouse. Doug Collins is actually going to be in town when they take on the Cougars of SIU Edwardsville. And we were talking to some of the Illinois State people before today's game, and really a great atmosphere in an old event area. And I think a lot of the longtime Redbird fans are going to be really excited to get an opportunity to watch Redbird basketball from Old Horton Fieldhouse. In fact, they're only able to put about 3,500 in the building. They used to be 7,000, but they're telling us that the benches that are behind each of the baskets, well, they're not really safe, so they can't get anybody to sit in those bench areas behind each basket. But still, I think it's a really neat event that they'll have next week.
No question. You got to honor your tradition. And Doug Collins played in that Horton Fieldhouse. I played in there in the mid-70s.
Did you really?
Yes. Actually, a JV game before Collins played for the varsity. Never forget it. It is a really cool venue.
So the foul is called. We'll go back the other way.
Illinois State's been a little loose here in the last couple of minutes. 5 turnovers. The last minute, they've been loose with the basketball, but they have a big enough cushion that they can survive this. Good look at Lewis. Four in double figures for Illinois State. We talked about McChesney's 23. Seneca Knight was 17. Big game off the bench by Kazubki with 13 as he knocked in 4 triples.
He hit some big threes early when they were on that run early in the second half. Davidson kicks it out. Gillespie hits the 3 from the corner. And the timeout is called by Coach Alexander. 57 seconds remaining. 85-75. Well,
19 throws for Illinois State. They've got to get this thing inbounded cleanly and through the traps.
One of the things, getting an opportunity to talk to, I'm sure you've talked to Coach Alexander, but him, along with Coach Prohm and Murray State, one of the things they know is when you're in this league of the Missouri Valley Conference, we've known this because we've been in the league for such a long period of time, it really is tough to win on the road. And obviously the Bruins are getting a taste of that right now, especially a team that's, let's face it, I think Coach Pete's team in many instances were really desperate for a win, losing their last 5.
Yeah, but Coach Pete, this is about culture, about playing the right ways.
Yep.
And, I talked a nice conversation before about we've got to control what we can control. We've got to eliminate mistakes. Our defensive effort has to be there all the time. That's what he's kind of upset with, that they didn't have consistency at the defensive end. We've seen that tonight. Their game plan was really executed to perfection. Take away the 3-ball, make Belmont beat you with contested shots near the rim or in the paint. And they got hot at the offensive end. That 3-ball solves a lot of warts.
Yes, it does. They hit 8 straight to start things out in this second half of play, and they literally have not looked back. Redbirds with the 10-point lead with 57 seconds remaining.
At the 2 quick guards in for Belmont.
Mizuki having trouble triggering it in. He's got to burn a timeout for Illinois State. Great defense on the inbounds play by the Bruins. Coach Beaton wants to talk it over with his troops with the double-digit lead.
Now the inbounder can still run the baseline. We've seen plays where you step another person out, be out of bounds and throw the ball across underneath the basket. Then you usually get it right back to the original inbounder.
Now what we've seen also at times by Illinois State is once they get past the traps that are being assessed, especially in the front court, then they've got those opportunities for 2 and 3 and 1 breaks in the half court. We've seen a couple of flushes by McChesney's on those opportunities.
I like the way they attacked though. You thought, well, we can take out and milk some clock, but no, let's get some points on the board. McChesney very aggressive at the end of the press.
Point Dexter, and they break it, and McChesney's there for another easy 2. That was close to a 10-second violation, too, by the way.
Belmont had every bit across the half court. Now, if you're Illinois State, you do not foul. You give up the easy 2s.
Point Dexter wisely pulls it back out, trying to get some help. And the time's going to wind down here, and the Redbirds are going to come away with a huge victory here at home against Belmont. Their first home win here at CEFCU Arena, and the first one for Ryan Peden in the Twin Cities. And they get the offensive rebound, and they'll wind this one down, and the Redbirds are going to come away with an impressive second half shooting from beyond the arc and winning 87-77.
Well, you're building a program, Scott. You're looking for that marquee win, that signature win. This is something that Illinois State can look back and build upon, not only for the recruiting, but for as they go into the rest of this Valley season.
So Ryan Peden's ISU Redbirds break their 5-game losing streak, and they also pick up their first home win of the season. And congratulations to Coach Peden and the Redbirds winning his first game here in Central Illinois by a final of 87-77. A reminder, our next Valley Game of the Week, that will be coming away in a few weeks on Wednesday, December 28th from Music City, as the Belmont Bruins will play host to the Bradley Braves. Our coverage will get underway at 7 Central Time. For Kevin Lehman and Jeff Graham and our entire LTM Global crew, I'm Scott Warman. Thanks so much for joining us. Again, the final from Central Illinois, Redbirds over the Bruins, 87-77, and so long from the Twin Cities.